The glue that brings the new Broly team together. But how should you build LR Broly's hidden potential? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. It is that time again. We have a brand new Dokkan Fest LR here on Global and JP Dokkan for this year's worldwide download celebration. And I gotta say, he is definitely one of the best extreme support type units that we've had in quite some time, at least for the team that he's present on. And so the question remains, how do you build this character's hidden potential? So in this video, we're going to take a look at what this guy's doing and give our best recommendations. So let's go ahead, let's hop on in, let's take a look. So he is an uncontrollable revenge or planetary destruction category key 3 HP attack and defense 170%, plus an additional attack and defense 30% for characters who also belong on movie bosses and transformation boost or pure Saiyans category. So actually, you know, at first glance, the leader skill seems kind of crazy until you take a closer look at who's on it. Like, uncontrollable power as a new category provides a lot of different right, like a lot of different options to use on the team, right? And you're going to see why having prioritizing uncontrollable power for his team is important here in a second. But right, it gives you access to things like his full leader skill gives you access to, you know, Frieza, although he's not uncontrollable power, right? It gives you access to Turles' army for support. Obviously, it gives you access to the other Brolys. It gives you access to the Boos, right? Who are on uncontrollable power. Hirudegarn, who's also on planetary destruction, by the way. Cell Max. Cell Max is a little wonky on this team because, as you can see, there aren't very many super bosses that are on the team. So honestly, if you are going to run Cell Max, having learned this the hard way, you're probably better off running an artificial life forms variant of this team, right? You could probably have one Broly rotation and then another rotation with like maybe INT Buu and Kid Buu, or INT Buu and Buhan, and then have a floating Kid Buu, right? And then that way, so when you get the opportunity, right, Cell Max will be able to activate his full passive on that full artificial life forms turn, because I have noticed that trying to float him and proc it on turn 6 kind of sucks, but we're not here for them. But this is the full leader skill. It's honestly not as bad as it seems, right? It does give him access to a few good things. But his super attack effect is also something that we haven't really seen, at least not in a while, right? It massively raises his 18 key will massively raise his attack and defense for the turn, and then have a further chance of massively raising. That's 100%. For the turn for his attack. So basically, he gets 100% raise on attack and defense, and then a 50% chance to do a additional 100% raise on his super attack, effectively giving him a second super attack, at least for his attack. His 12 key massively raises his attack and defense the turn, so he's getting the same buff, but now he has a additional 30% on the defense, but same thing, a further high chance. So again, effectively getting, it's like half an additional here. So I mean, while the character doesn't have any built-in additionals, right, having it proccing that second chance probably going to work out for you. Even better if you proc this, right, and then proc this for the double 100% raise. So moving on to his passive, he activates his entrance animation once only. He gives extreme class allies defense 40% for 4 turns from his entry turn. So while that is up, he's giving everybody an extra 40%. He also has attack and defense 260%, reduces damage received by 60%, and has an additional 100% when attacking. He also has an additional key 2 and recovers 2% HP per type key sphere obtained. While you have his domain, Molten Lava of Notade Village, active, he randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, INT and STR excluded, to STR key spheres at the start of the attacking turn and guards all attacks. Strange that he's changing STR. I wonder if that's going to come into play with a possibility with the super easy A that's coming soon, since right, the DFE Broly is STR, or even the Yellow Coin LR, right? It's curious that it's changing specifically STR. He does have effective against all types for the rest of battle once he performs an attack while Molten Lava of Natade Village is active. And then, starting from the 5th turn from his entry turn, he can revive with 60% HP recovered, or an ally when him or an ally is KO'd. He gets an additional 60% when receiving an attack after the character or an ally's revival skill is active. So initially when I first read his details, I assumed he would only get the initial 60 if someone else revives. But no, as long as any character's revive is active, he gets the additional. Now, the additional 60%. Now, he does change Fizz key spheres to int key spheres and gives uncontrollable power allies attack and defense 60% from the starting from the attacking turn in the battle in which his revival skill is active. So if his revival is the one that is active, you're giving 60% support to the rotation, as well as changing key spheres. So if you're running 2 Brolys, only one of them will be able to proc this. So I mean, honestly, that's not that bad. You just lose out on one of the supports, which, I mean, if it's a floating support, it's not really that big of a deal. You've probably also got either Kid Buu or Turles on the team for extra added support as well. So all in all, he's kind of the full package, right? He is everything you want in a utility unit, right? He creates a domain that buffs all of your allies, right? His domain is actually incredibly powerful, right? Aside from the active skill doing a bunch of damage, right, which is helpful, it basically gives uncontrollable power enemies and allies 15% and increases damage received to superclass enemies and allies by 15%, as well as an additional 10% if you're fighting a movie hero. So you would actually deal 25% extra to movie heroes while the domain is active. So it's actually incredibly powerful. It's probably one of the better domains. However, it's rather short, right? The idea behind him is you activate it when he shows up to buff the team for the first couple of turns. Because, right, again, if you look at this leader skill, right, a lot of these units need those first couple of turns to get fully built up, right? Cellmax can be a little squishy on those first couple of turns. So having that domain active really helps him out. Really helps out Golden Frieza having that up, actually. He's already one of the best defensive units for those early turns. It makes him even better for those big supers that hit early on. It helps out Tech Broly, who needs to build. It even helps out INT Broly, if I can find him down here, the INT TUR Broly. Even helps him out. Oh, where is this guy? He's hiding somewhere, but yeah, it even helps out the INT TUR Broly, who just got his EZA. So honestly, it's a really powerful thing. I see the way you basically use this is, you use the one and then you use the second, and then he'll be good to go after, for 6 turns. You'll have pretty much one of the better team protection things, as well as him being able to tank just about everything. Now, the question lies, what about his hidden potential? Well, as an INT type, right, his baseline is, right, dodge. He gets 5 dodge built into his hidden potential. So if you were to fully invest that, right, you'd be giving yourselves a 20% chance to dodge, 30% if you invest the extra 10 skill orbs. Now, I don't think critical hit is necessary on him. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that out right there. Critical hit, not necessary on him. Once you activate his domain and he gains an attack, he gains effective against all types. So basically covering your critical hit. Obviously critical hit would be better, but he's not a damaging unit. The best you're going to see out of him on a good turn is maybe upwards of 24 million, but again, it's for the single attack. He has no built-in additionals, so honestly, I would leave the critting and the massive attack numbers to his slot 2 or slot 3 units, or slot 1, depending on how you're playing, if you're floating this guy, right? I would leave that to the Tech Brolys, the AGL Brolys, and the LR EZA Brolys. Instead, I believe you should focus on combo attack with him, and that is because of this right here. For this character, you're more often than not, unless you really need this extra attack, you're probably going to be prioritizing his 12 key to gain you an additional 100% plus an additional 30% on the defense, because again, he's a utility unit. He is defensive while his domain is up, but I mean, he can still get caught by some supers, especially once that domain runs out. So having an additional super would give you an additional 130% defense at the max. So I do think that combo attack is probably the way to go for him with a sub dodge. I don't think dodge is going to be the way to go fully for him, because I think he would benefit far greater from the additional combo attack. Now, him being an INT type means the max he's going to get is 30, 40% if you invest fully in the skill orb. So honestly, I would recommend, if you've got a level 5 combo and dodge, then definitely use that for him on both your silver and your gold. That's definitely the way to go, I think. Again, crit not wholly necessary there. So guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, how would you build your LR Tech Broly? I went the additional routes. I actually have mine at 69%, and I find that the additional super is far more helpful than any small chance to dodge. But I'm curious how you will have built him. Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.